In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with y'all the top 2 stocks to keep on your watch list for tomorrow. We're also going to look at the overall market and get you guys prepared as always, along with looking at some of the stocks that I've mentioned in the last video. Alright, y'all, let's dive right into the charts. Right off the bat, we got the NASDAQ. Once again, we're going to use the NASDAQ, right? Um, it did give us a doji, I think. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, so a doji appeared, which I'm not surprised by that. I told y'all in the last video, I told y'all yesterday, whenever there's a big, massive move, what tends to happen the next day is that the market tends to just chill out, all right? It didn't really sell off until like the last 10 minutes. I thought it was actually going to close at exactly 18,300, but unfortunately there was a lot of selling pressure during the last 5 minutes, which is making me seem a little bit more bearish than bullish because of the way that we sold off. All right. We didn't even get any attempts towards 18,500. We just chopped all day and then sold off aggressively at the close. Now looking at the SPY had a bigger push. This kind of move was what I was expecting with the NASDAQ, just something higher, at least higher than this, before we close at the opening price, which was 5,141. This one also sold off. So the situation is looking a bit dicey, I would say. It's looking kind of dicey. The VIX, let's look at the VIX. The VIX spiked, which I was not expecting at all. The gap got filled, and now it's looking like it wants to go higher. Let's check out the daily charts. Yeah, it looks like it wants to make a turnaround as well. So just keep your eyes on how we open. How we open will be very, very critical, especially if we're open at like negative 0.50%, because that may cause a lot of panic and fear in the markets, and we might see the market go down a lot lower. The level of support for the NASDAQ is actually right. Let's go on the 1 hour. There you go. So there's this level right here to watch out for, right at 18,100. If this doesn't hold, there would be a major sell-off coming soon. All right, that has to hold in order for the market to have any hopes of getting into that green circle by the 11th. All right, it has to hold. If it doesn't, then we have to shift our perspective. Now, the first stock that all of you should be keeping in your watch list for tomorrow, that stock is none other than Apple. All right. Now with Apple, this is the third video that I'm making about Apple. I shared it with y'all in the past 2 videos, not literally the past 2 videos, the past 2 videos that I've talked about Apple. I was bearish on both of them, and I'm still bearish on it again. All right. There is a descending triangle right here for those of y'all who didn't watch those videos. I shared it with y'all way in advance. Way in advance. All right. The descending triangle is here. It's been cooking. And then it broke down. It broke down on Friday and actually closed like right up here at 179.70. The daily candle was looking kind of dicey. So it closed right there. All right. Which is, it's not entirely clear. It wasn't entirely clear that we were going to sell off at that specific point. Right. It was clear that it was going to sell off when it opened up right at 179, 177. When it opened up lower and they pulled out bearish news about Apple getting fined like $2 billion in Europe, then this thing was going to sell off. And it definitely sold off, as you can see right here. And I don't think it's quite done yet. I don't think it's quite done yet. The 4 hour is there. Support got taken out. The next level to watch for this one is $170 tomorrow. Now, if that level of support that I've shown you guys on the Nasdaq, if that one gets taken out and we close below that red band that I drew for you guys, we might see this thing go even lower, and Apple leading the way of that massive drop. All right, so definitely keep your eyes on Apple for that move tomorrow. All right, I shared this one before in the past. I was tempted to share it in Sunday's video, but I wasn't really sure how it would open, and I wanted to make sure that this thing was actually going to commit to the downside, and it looks like it did. All right, now the next stock to keep on watch for tomorrow, that stock is eBay. All right. Now this one is for the bulls. The stock looks like this. This is the daily chart. All right, this is the daily charts. There is a level of resistance that stretches from here to here. All right, it's kind of like a bull flag in a way, and then it had phenomenal earnings. The stock had a big positive reaction, gapping up like this. All right. Now, the pattern that I want to share with you guys for eBay, we're going to zoom into the charts. We're going to dive into the 15-minute. All right. And the 15-minute is showing us this. An ascending triangle that broke out this morning right here. All right. Now, if this thing doesn't play any games, right? If it doesn't play too many games or doesn't play any games, it should run all the way up to where this alert is at $51 tomorrow. It should get there. If not by tomorrow, then maybe by Wednesday. All right. Worst case scenario is that we drop here back to 48, play some games, and then run the next day, right? Or we run the same day right here. All right. As long as it doesn't fall back below $48, as long as we don't drop down here and close down here, the stock is still bullish, and the pattern is still in play. All right. But definitely keep eBay on watch for a bullish move, especially after the positive reaction that we've seen from earnings right here. All right, it's uptrending, so keep this one in your watch list. All right, now let's discuss some videos and some stocks. I mean, a lot of you have been asking some questions in the comment section of the last videos, and that's wonderful. The first stock that somebody asked about is Target. And Target looks like that. All right. Target has earnings tomorrow. And like I always say, holding anything through earnings is 150% gambling. Right. And I tell y'all all the time, don't do it. But if you're going to do it, manage that position size, manage your risk if you're going to do it. All right. With this one, the reaction is key. I don't think the contracts are super inflated. Let's see here. Yeah, the at-the-money contracts are not super inflated at all. I mean, it's 500, which is okay. All right, it's at 150. If we see a big $10 move, then these puts or these calls will be up by 100%. All right, I'm leaning more. I don't know. There's two gaps out here to worry about. There's the giant gap up here, which I highly doubt that we're gonna spike to 200. That would be incredible if it did. That gap has to fill at some point in time. But with the way the Dow Jones is looking and with the way the SPY is looking, I'm gonna lean a little bearish. Yeah, I think the one at the bottom might get filled first before we take care of the one at the top in the months to come. All right, but the most important thing is for you to watch exactly how the reaction is. All right, and hopefully it doesn't gap up or down too much. That way there is a lot of room. There's a lot of room to make money in the direction of the gap. All right, don't try to fight the trend that it's going to show you. Okay, if it gaps lower at like 140, at 145, you should watch it for the break of this level of support right here. From here, this is the level of support. That's where it stretches from. The gaps anywhere down here, watch it for a drop below it to like 136. It's very, very simple. So that's my honest thoughts on targets. Now, Airbnb, we gotta look at that one. That was one of the stocks that I mentioned yesterday. It partially behaved well. There was money to be made on here. Contracts were up at some point. All right, especially from 154 when it broke out. It's been uptrending, 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 and this is the trend that it makes out the gates. Like this is the trend of the push out the gates, I would say. So if you got in within the first 2 minutes, you were supposed to watch this one closely. All right, you were supposed to watch and make sure that it behaved all the way through. It started losing steam around 163 and started to roll over right here. All right, unfortunately, it didn't go all the way up to 170. So hopefully, y'all were able to just get in, make some money on it, and be able to get out in time before this thing started to fade downwards. There was some money on it. It just didn't close at like 165 or higher, unfortunately. All right. The other stocks that I've mentioned yesterday was Cat, and Cat behaved a lot better. All right. So congratulations to anybody who made money on these two stocks. Caterpillar went from 135 to from 335 all the way up to 340. It didn't quite make it up to 345. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Right now, it hasn't shown any sign of that it's misbehaving or that it's not gonna get there. It hasn't shown any sign of that just yet. So we'll see. We'll see what it does if it even makes it up there. All right. So that's my honest thoughts on all of these stocks, and that is the end of the video. Do not forget to annihilate the like button as always. Remember, make these videos from Sunday to Thursday at exactly 10 p.m. Central Time. All right, so definitely click on that subscribe button and click on the notification bell. That way YouTube notifies you whenever I release these videos. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community where you can get all of this information in real time as I see them, you can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Paul Nguma and at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on X. And lastly, to get some free stocks with Webull, you can use the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patternology Lab, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in tomorrow night's video.